Nashville is a city rich in history. We have a worldwide reputation as a music center and an abundant heritage of remarkable citizens who have created the very heart of our community. The city's early history embraces some outstanding women who helped establish the important roles that the women of the 21st century continue to expand. Because of these early contributions, women of today have a strong foundation on which to base their success. 50 years ago, the Davidson County Democratic Women's Organization was formed. Its mission is to encourage and stimulate women to participate in Democratic Party activities, to encourage women to run for public office, to inform and educate women about civic and political matters, to support the goals and nominees of the Democratic Party. Throughout the past 50 years, the leadership of the Davidson County Democratic Women has been steadfast in their support of these goals, and it is with great pleasure that we recognize these women tonight. Nashville and Davidson County are rich in culture, rich in history, and rich in the resources of its women leaders. The leaders and members of the Davidson County Democratic Women exemplify many of the reasons why all Nashvillians can be proud of their heritage, and we can anticipate the future with confidence. Jane Eskind is a pioneer, a role model, a leader. At a time when women's voices were just barely audible, Jane Eskind told our story loud and clear. In 1972 and 1976, she represented Tennessee on the Democratic National Platform Committee. In 1978, she was the first woman to successfully win a statewide primary for the U.S. Senate. And in 1980, when she was elected to the Tennessee Public Service Commission, she made history as the first woman to be elected to statewide office.
During the campaigns, there were many people who thought that I should go home and have a baby, as improbable as it was at the time. And it was always interesting to go to the newspapers to do the interview and know that your male opponent had been interviewed by the news editor and you were going to be interviewed by the society editor.
Jane and Richard Eskind, or Dick Eskind, her husband, are very generous. They're very generous in their heart and in their pocketbook. They're very generous to help people and guide people, and I'm just proud that she's my friend, and I honor her and congratulate her for being the first woman. Again, she's got many firsts, but being the first Women's Hall of Fame recipient, she deserves it.
Her willingness to tackle what was a very difficult process of being the first woman to run for elected office on the scale that she did. I think it would have been very easy for her to continue on behind the scenes, but she realized that there was this opportunity to catapult women into a new place in the state. I think part of that also led to her work with the Commission on the Status of Women. Part of it, began with the League of Women Voters, worked through political process, the Status of Women, the Public Service Commission, and her work with the Democratic Party on a national scale, in addition to the bake sales and the charitable endeavors and serving on the board of organizations like Family and Children's Service. She really has covered the waterfront, and at every step of the way, we've been nothing but proud. Mom has told the story that of walking downtown and running into women who would take her by the hands on the sidewalk and who would tell her that Mom's work had made it possible for them to achieve what they had achieved in their lives and to get out of circumstances that may have been unpleasant. Mom always said it just made her have goosebumps, and those are the highest compliments, much more than anything I could say.
I'm one of those old-fashioned people who still think that public service and public office are decent, honorable aspirations, and I think all of us should participate in the life and times in which we live.
Back in 1977, when Jane ran for a U.S. Senate seat, she was one of the first women to run for statewide office in the South. With her dedication and commitment to win, she was an example to all women that they too could break into the so-called man's world. And even though she didn't win every election, she always had a winning attitude about every race she entered and every job she undertook. Hillary and I are both better off for her place in our lives. We're both grateful to you, Jane. We salute you. We're honored that you've been our friend. and we're forever grateful for all you've done for us, for Tennessee, and for America.
This is much more than being a role model. This is being an activist on behalf of women who may not themselves have all had a voice, but who needed to be heard. It was a very critical point that was being made, and Jane was right there at the head of the line. She was a true pioneer.
And a woman came up to me during the time of intense publicity, not the kind you want, but the kind you got. Anyway, this woman came up to me and she said, I know who you are. And I said, nice to see you. And she said, I've been reading about you in the paper and seeing you on television, and I know all about you. And I thought, oh my goodness, here it comes. And she said, I just have one thing to say to you. And I thought, oh, please. One thing I wanted you to know. And I said, yes, ma'am, what's that? She said, keep up the good work.
Over the past 3 decades, Jane Eskind has made a difference in the lives of women and girls in Tennessee and beyond. Her strong leadership, support, and voice have made a lasting impression. It is with great pleasure that we honor Jane Eskind as the first inductee into the Tennessee Women's Hall of Fame.